Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inner Spark. Today, I bring you a story that is close to the heart of anyone who has ever struggled, fallen, and tried to rise again. This story follows the journey of Lewis, who goes through betrayal, financial collapse, and self-doubt, but discovers that mental strength creates life's greatest victories. It shows that shortcuts can ruin you, but discipline shapes your destiny. Through grit and patience, Lewis proves that a strong mind builds a strong life. And before we begin, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Inner Spark, and hit the bell icon so you never miss these inspiring stories that can light a fire in your soul. Lewis grew up in Manchester with big dreams, but reality often weighed heavier than his hopes. He wasn't born into wealth, and every step forward felt like climbing a mountain with stones tied to his feet. His heart was full of ambition, yet his life was full of obstacles. He dreamed of starting his own business, something that could give him both freedom and purpose. But with every idea came a fresh rejection, a new failure, or an unexpected blow. Many nights he sat awake, wondering if maybe dreams were only for people born lucky. And yet, deep inside, he had a flicker of belief, tiny but alive. His best friend Mark was his opposite, carefree, fun-loving, and never serious about the future. Mark laughed at Lewis's constant planning, telling him, "Mate, stop stressing. Life's too short to keep chasing impossible dreams." Sometimes, Lewis envied Mark's relaxed nature, the way he seemed untouched by worry. But that same carefree spirit often left Lewis questioning himself. Was he wasting his youth on something that might never work? The tension between his discipline and Mark's freedom sat heavy in his mind. It was like two voices pulling him in opposite directions. Eventually, Lewis scraped together his small savings and partnered with two acquaintances to build a delivery service app. He poured his heart into it, meeting local shop owners, promising them something better, and dreaming of transforming his community. For months, he worked relentlessly, pushing past exhaustion. But the biggest betrayal hit him hard. One of his partners secretly sold the idea to a bigger company. Overnight, Lewis's vision was stolen, his savings gone, and his spirit crushed. He felt hollow, not just broke, but stripped of trust. Days turned into weeks of silence, his motivation buried beneath disappointment. One evening, his mother, Eleanor, visited with warm tea and tougher words. She sat across from him, her voice calm but firm. "Lewis, life will test you by taking everything away. Strength is not in avoiding failure. It's in standing again after the fall. Remember, a strong mind builds a strong life." Those words cut through his despair like sunlight breaking clouds. They didn't erase the pain, but they reminded him that he wasn't finished. Deep down, Lewis realized he could rebuild, not from luck, but from discipline. So he began with himself. Instead of chasing the next quick success, he worked on his mind. He started journaling, noting down his thoughts every night. He read books on resilience, listened to podcasts on discipline, and trained himself to see failures as lessons instead of curses. Slowly, his mornings became structured, his habits stronger. It wasn't glamorous, no applause, no instant results, but he felt a quiet strength building. It was like laying bricks one by one, a foundation that no betrayal could shake again. But just as things steadied, Mark appeared with an enticing shortcut. "Lewis," he grinned, "forget these slow methods. I got a quick way for us to make money through trading. No licenses, just smart moves. We'll double our cash in weeks." The temptation stung deep. Lewis was still broke, still aching to prove himself, and the idea of fast success pulled at him. That night, he paced his room, caught between his old impatience and his new discipline. Would he take the bait, or would he choose the harder path? By morning, Lewis made his decision. He told Mark no. Mark scoffed, called him a coward, and distanced himself. Their friendship cracked, leaving Lewis both lonely and uncertain. Yet within that choice, Lewis felt something powerful, clarity. He realized strength was not in saying yes to shortcuts, but in walking away from them. Sacrificing comfort for character was painful, but it planted a stronger conviction inside him. He understood then, The easy way is rarely the right way. With discipline as his anchor, Lewis took a humble job at a logistics company. Most people saw it as nothing more than routine work, but Lewis treated it as training ground. He watched closely how systems worked, why some ideas failed, and how leaders handled crises. Every small task became a lesson in patience and precision. Colleagues often mocked him for overthinking simple jobs, but Lewis knew he was learning skills hidden in plain sight. Quietly, he was sharpening his blade for a bigger fight ahead. Months turned into a year, and Lewis began sketching business ideas again, this time with stronger focus. Instead of rushing, he tested small projects on weekends. Some failed immediately, others showed promise, but he didn't collapse under failure anymore. He wrote down every mistake, learned from it, and moved on. His strength no longer came from blind hope. It came from resilience. Each rejection added another brick to his mindset, another layer of armor protecting him from despair. For the first time, Lewis felt unshakable. But life wasn't done testing him. Just as he gained momentum, his mother fell ill, forcing him to spend his savings on her treatment. The burden nearly crushed him, pulling him back into debt. Nights were filled with fear, not just for his finances, but for the woman who had given him her wisdom. Mark reappeared briefly, not with help, but with smug words, "See, mate, all that discipline, and you're still stuck." Lewis swallowed the sting, but refused to collapse. He reminded himself, strong minds bend, but they do not break. To handle the pressure, Lewis doubled down on discipline. He woke up earlier, worked harder, and found side jobs to cover costs. Exhaustion became his constant companion, yet so did determination. He reminded himself daily that pain was temporary, but giving up would be permanent. Slowly, his mother's health improved, and though Lewis was drained, he realized he had survived one of life's darkest storms. That survival was proof of his strength, evidence that his mindset could carry him through anything. Out of the blue, an unexpected mentor entered his life. Mr. Carter, the regional manager at his company. Carter noticed Lewis's dedication, his refusal to cut corners, and offered him guidance. Over coffee meetings, he shared insights on leadership, strategy, and long-term vision. Carter saw in Lewis what others missed, a mind trained not just to dream, but to endure. This mentorship was a turning point. It gave Lewis the tools to shape his resilience into real-world results. Armed with guidance, Lewis launched a small logistics consultancy, targeting businesses that struggled with delivery systems. Unlike before, he didn't rush. He applied patience, built slowly, and focused on trust over quick wins. Clients began to notice his reliability, his problem-solving nature, and word spread. What started as a side hustle grew steadily into a business of its own. This time, no betrayal or shortcut could shake him, because he had built everything on the foundation of a strong mind. Years later, Lewis looked back at his journey. From betrayal to rebuilding, from poverty to patience, from temptation to triumph. It all pointed to one truth. Strength is not about what life gives you, but about how you choose to respond. Mark had faded into the background, chasing shortcuts that led to dead ends. Lewis, on the other hand, stood tall, not because life was easier for him, but because his mind was stronger. Lewis's story proves that the most powerful victories don't come from talent, luck, or shortcuts, but from building mental strength that can endure storms. Life will always bring betrayals, failures, and setbacks, but if you develop resilience, you can transform every fall into a rise. And that's the lesson of this story. A strong mind builds a strong life. Discipline, patience, and resilience are not glamorous, but they are the roots of lasting success. Thank you for watching InnerSpark. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this story with someone who needs to hear it today.